Good evening. It is I, Kaylee, here from the Green Manor once again. I wanted to elaborate a little bit more on the TikTok that I posted earlier on all of the weird and slightly creepy things that we experience here in our 263-year-old home. I first want to preface this video by saying thank you all so much that have joined me on this journey. I think I have just about 900 subscribers right now here on YouTube, and I'm so happy and grateful for everyone that has joined me on this platform as well. I also want to point out that I know a lot of the things I'm about to explain can probably be debunked. I am well aware of that, and I am actually all for that. I was a big ghost hunters girly growing up, and I swear like 80% of the time on the episodes, they would debunk like everything, and it didn't make it any less fun or exciting, at least not for me. Though being that I live in this house, I would say that certain things definitely can't be explained, but that's just my humble opinion. So just to get right into it, the first thing I want to touch on are my floating candles. Anything that is swinging from the ceiling is always kind of moving. I want to talk about this candle specifically. Of course, right now the ghosts are being camera shy, but 24/7, no exaggeration, is always swinging at least a little bit. I don't know what's up with that one. Now people will say a draft, maybe, but recently we've been experiencing multiple candles, maybe like 4 or 5 at a time, swinging. And you would think if it's a draft, maybe it would be all of them, or maybe it would be the same candles every time, but it's always a different handful of candles, and they'll be swinging pretty violently. Like what you see here, I have posted on TikTok about it, but that's one of the most recent things. If we go into the living room and the foyer is another great example of this. And again, the one that you see in the foyer here also didn't start until recently, maybe within the last couple months, but sometimes I will come in here for whatever reason and it will be swinging back and forth, or sometimes even a circle. That one really gets me. And we also have a pole chain like this upstairs in the Airbnb. That one has gone crazy pretty much since the day that we moved in. The one in the living room upstairs is always swinging, but again, this one and the candles in the dining room didn't start until somewhat recently. One of the other things that we have been experiencing truly since the day we moved in is jewelry going missing. A lot of my day one followers on TikTok will remember the story of my rings and how I put them all in a little tiny purse after playing dress up with my niece and nephew. I put that purse in a safe place and then it proceeded to go missing for 3 months. That is not an exaggeration. And I ended up finding it in my closet here behind me, but I know for a fact that I didn't put them in the closet. Some may argue that I'm crazy, but I am not. Another thing that the ghosts seem to really love is this beautiful emerald necklace that my husband got me a couple years back. I actually remember cleaning the Airbnb upstairs one day and finding just the pendant to this necklace upstairs in the bathroom after I had cleaned the whole Airbnb top to bottom. But not to mention it's just weird enough because I obviously live downstairs and keep all of my jewelry down here. And the pendant was off the chain and upstairs in the bathroom. And then I also found this necklace in the attic, in like a little crawl area right above the creepy little room. So I'm just taking an educated guess that maybe our ghost is a little girly girl and just really enjoys jewelry. Here in my husband's office is where we hear a lot of odd things, especially coming from upstairs. In fact, the first time we ever heard anything kind of sketchy was in this room, and it genuinely sounded like a ball rolling across the whole entire room. And anytime we hear something, we always go running up there immediately because it absolutely could be a mouse or some sort of critter that has gotten into our house, but we never find any droppings. We never really find any openings or anything that they could be getting in and out of. And not to mention, we do have Ring cameras in our attic, so we would get a notification if something was up there. But that's probably one of the weirder things, just hearing scratching sounds, rolling sounds, and even kind of like footsteps always going across this room. And we even heard it in our bedroom recently, which I made a TikTok about for those who follow me on there. But that's definitely one of the most unnerving things that we experience. And just a couple days ago, we heard like a weird scratching footstep kind of sound coming from right above the built-ins that you see here. And my husband and I ran up there immediately. Of course, we found nothing, but that's one of the things that seems to be picking up a little bit more as time goes on. So we're now upstairs in the Airbnb. This is the bedroom that is right above my husband's office where we hear all of the weird sounds. And like I said, the other night we were actually in our bedroom and we heard something. And I swear it genuinely started from like right here in this corner and it went across this whole room and then even into the next bedroom. So the noise continued into this bedroom and then it seemed to go all the way across this room as well and then kind of stop at the wall. I also want to point out that this room is the room that we had a guest stay in, and she said that she put a bracelet down on the dresser or the nightstand to go to sleep, and then when she woke up, it was gone. Thankfully, she was such a good sport about it. We actually bumped into her in person and she told us about the bracelet and just asked us to keep an eye out for it. And we ended up telling her about how we think we have a little bit of a ghost or spirit that likes to take jewelry. And she genuinely got goosebumps while we were talking to her about it. But again, she was such a good sport. She was so kind. She wasn't upset at all. She just wanted to let us know. And no, we never found the bracelet. Even though we made a point to turn the whole Airbnb upside down, it still drives me crazy to this day. So the same guests that told us she had a bracelet go missing, they also told us that when they first arrived here for their first night here, they got here, they unpacked, they got comfortable, and then they left for the night to go out to dinner and do whatever they were going to do. They got back late at night, they walked through this door, and they said they got right here, and there was a cigarette butt on the floor right here, a fully smoked cigarette butt. Mind you, I am the Airbnb cleaner, so I know that this place was spotless. I'm not a smoker, my husband's not a smoker, and we absolutely do not allow smoking inside of the unit. I have no idea how it got there. I know that this place was spotless before they checked in, and they even said themselves that there was nothing there when they did check in, so that was also a little weird. Also, honorable mention for good old Betsy. She wanted to say hi. Also, just wanted to quickly point out that the bathroom here seems to be a little bit of a hot spot. My best friend's son, who is 4, has mentioned multiple times that there's ghosts in the bathroom. In fact, one time my husband and I went to Florida for a vacation and my best friend watched the house for us and she kept texting me, telling me that he said there are ghosts in the bathroom. So that's fine, everything's fine. I also want to point out that there seems to be a lot more activity up here in the Airbnb and of course in the attic in comparison to downstairs. Do we experience things downstairs? Yes, we absolutely do, but it seems to be a lot more crazy up here. I mean, to the point where even our guests are experiencing things. You guys know we take 0 chances around here. And then, of course, the infamous attic. It is freezing up here. The Santa hat never stays on the mannequin. It's fallen off multiple times, both this year and last year. I actually just put it back up here earlier this morning when I was making a TikTok. Also want to touch on the fact that a lot of people on TikTok say I'm diabolical for leaving the mannequins in the attic window, but I can assure you that you cannot see them from the window. So our neighbors are fine. And last, but certainly not least, the disappointment room. This little room right here is another hot spot. A lot of you know we have a Ring camera, so that way we can catch all the sketchy things that happen. I've genuinely caught on our Ring footage the blanket moving slightly. I've caught the door handle jiggling, weird things like that. I always make a point to close the creepy door when I'm done recording up here and whatnot, but then sometimes the next day I'll come back up here and it will be open, which is a little unsettling, but what can you do? In fact, the ghost is being polite and holding it open for us right now. So I will go ahead and leave it at that for the night. I want to thank you guys once more so much for following my journey here on YouTube. If you're new here and you haven't liked or subscribed to my channel, please do. I do all things creepy considering the house that I live in. And again, thank you all so much for getting me to 100,000 followers on TikTok. That was genuinely such a great milestone that I was really excited to meet. So I am just so happy and grateful to be here, and I'm so happy and grateful for each and every one of you. I love you all so much, and thank you for watching. Bye.